Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to today's video. We're going to have a look ahead through to the end of June and the start of July for today's video. It seems to be staying very unsettled, I'm afraid, so if you're looking for summer, well, the wait goes on really, because it does look as though it's going to remain cool and unsettled. Now, before I get on with the video, I just want to talk about the advertising. There will usually be a video ad overlaying my web videos at garethweatherbids.com. Please play those video ads, because you'll be supporting garethweatherbids.com by doing that. So, it's not too bad today. The improvement that I talked about last week, it has come off. We have had a bit of an improvement in the weather. At least it's stopped raining for most of us, and the sun has appeared. So that's going to be the case for the next day or two. But really, beyond that, it is going to be turning very unsettled once again. So this is the weather chart for Thursday. And we've got the next area's low pressure moving in. That could bring a bit of thunder, actually, to some parts of the country, particularly down in the south. That could be a bit thundery, but it'll be bringing a band of heavy rain northwards. And really, once that low pressure gets going, well, then it's staying unsettled through into Friday and then on into the weekend. So this is Friday's chart. We've got a great big dartboard low again sitting over the country, loads of ice bars wrapped around that low pressure. So it will be unsettled, it will be cool. There'll be showers or longer spells of rain once again. Now, as we go further ahead into a week's time, so we're going to start looking at the week to 10-day period now, and this is for Tuesday the 26th of June. We can see that again we've got another area of low pressure out in the Atlantic that'll be starting to move towards us, and then as we go through into Friday the 29th of June, that low pressure's moved away into the North Sea and pulling down this very cool northerly wind here. Now this is Wimbledon, the first week of Wimbledon, of course, next week. And this is looking very unsettled for that, and very cool as well, I'm afraid. So it's going to be a case of showers or longer spells of rain probably next week. I think there will probably be some delays, where they have put a roof on the main court, of course, so that'll be okay for there. But generally, I think a very cool and showery period coming up next week for Wimbledon. And of course, it's not just Wimbledon. Now we're into the summer fete season, and various outside events going on, summer festivals as well. It's all impacted by the weather, and next week's weather doesn't look very good at all. Now, this is the GFS ensembles for the next 384 hours, and we can see, well, what we're looking at actually here is these lines in the middle of the chart are indicating temperature. The red line indicates where the temperature should be at the time of year, or the other lines are indicating the temperatures within the various ensemble members. So when the lines go above the red line, that means temperatures are warmer than average. When the lines go below the red line, that means that the temperatures are below average. And these are for the upper air, but they do work out quite nicely for temperatures on the ground. So we can see that really the lines are sticking around that red line throughout the run. Really, there is a bit of scatter in times. They do push a little bit above the red line at certain intervals, and then at other intervals we dip below the red line. So really we're looking at temperatures around the seasonal average for much of the period, occasionally going above average. That's probably as an area of low pressure moves in and brings a warm sector, and then occasionally going below average, and that's as the low pressure clears away into the North Sea. As we saw on the chart a few minutes ago, the low pressure next week, it does look like it could clear away into the North Sea and pull down a very cool northerly wind. And these spikes down here are all indicating precipitation. There's a lot of precipitation spikes there. A big area of precipitation to come from the 21st to the 23rd of June, so that's going to be bringing a lot of rain, man. And then as we go further out, we see that those precipitation spikes do continue right the way to the end of the ensemble. That's taking us into the end of the first week of July, so that really would be an extended period of cool and showery weather, if that's right. Having a look at the temperature anomaly for the next week, this is for Tuesday the 19th of June, Tuesday the 26th of June. We can see that the whole country is in these blue colours, so the temperatures will be staying below average over the next week, despite the fact that the upper air temperatures on the ensemble was shown that occasionally will be going above average. Overall, the temperatures on the surface will be below average. That's because there are going to be a lot of overcast days with rain. And for the precipitation anomaly for the next week, so again this is today, Tuesday to next Tuesday, we can see that we've all got these above average precipitation colours here. We're in the blue colours, so yes, rainfall is going to be pushing on above average over the next week. Once again, of course, it's been a very wet June so far, and that looks like it will be continuing. Having a look at the ECMWF model for a week's time, this is again Tuesday the 26th of June. We can see we're in a slack northerly flow here. It's showery, it's cool, it's not desperately wet, there's not really persistent rain with this, but it certainly is cool, it's certainly showery. And as I say, temperature's really nothing to write home about. And as we go into the 29th of June, 10 days away, well, we might bring a little bit of a ridge over the country then, but I think that's a bit speculative. But that ridge, in any case, is sitting to the west of the country. So the winds and the air is generally from a north or northwesterly direction, so it will be cool. And as long as this low pressure remains stuck over Scandinavia, we will keep the high pressure out to the west generally of the country, and we'll keep winds in from the northerly direction. We need that low pressure over Scandinavia, trough over Scandinavia to disappear, and set up high pressure to get winds in from the south or from the east. Finally, having a look at the GEM, the Canadian model, we are again looking at slack gradients here for a week's time. Tuesday, the 26th of June, the low pressure is over Scandinavia. We've got another low pressure waiting out in the Atlantic though, so this is again is cool and showery. And then as we go 10 days out, Friday the 29th of June, well, low pressure very much dominating. It's moved up to the north of Scotland now. And again, we're probably bringing a weather front across the country actually with this, so it's probably quite wet if this is right. But that's a little way off. We can't really use it for detail. But certainly the emphasis is on unsettled, cool, showery weather, and of course the detail will change at 10 days out, but the trend is certainly there for it to be remaining cool and showery right to the end of June. And if we have a look at the GFS finally, and this is for 384 hours away, so this is a huge amount of time out. It's Friday the 5th of July, it's a long way. But, well, it's still a very similar situation, really. It could be just a couple of days out because, again, nothing really has changed. Low pressure is sitting over the country. There's no sign of any high pressure developing to the south or to the east. Low pressure is very much in control, and it's a cool, showery situation right out to the end of the first week of July, if that's right. So, summer is getting on now, of course, so if we're going to settle it down, we've really got to start seeing some signs of it soon. But certainly there's no sign in the next, certainly 10 days, and probably out to 2 weeks, where it does look like remaining very unsettled, very cool. So really, the main thing to take from this video is make the most of today and tomorrow's weather if you like fine weather, because it's all downhill from Thursday, and then beyond that, very unsettled and cool. That's it for now.